way with the way force or whatever is authorized constitutionally or whatever, and you think there's a way to insert Jesus in there and make it better, go ahead.
Are we on? Is this thing on? Trusty Eve. Apparently we are on now. And it's Thursday, April 30th, the year of our Lord 2026. Hey, Pixie, good to see you. I was listening to some of your chats with Tommy over there earlier, and I was mighty appreciative of some of the things being said. But yeah, honestly, like half the time I'm like, I don't track. I'm like, what the fuck's going on over here? And then I start to the story develops, and I'm like, oh yeah, I get it now. I understand what's going on. Uh, just like tonight. I was trying to decide which Jim Bob video to watch, and he's moderating this debate with Steelborn and Planet Peterson over on his channel. So I figured we'd just start there. Not that we're getting anywhere, but we're just gonna be hate watching this gentleman for an hour or so, and then I have to mosey on to bed. But for a short time, we are here. Much love, Pixie, and everybody out there, whoever they are, and whenever they are, and whenever they watch it. Just wishing everybody a lot of love. But we're gonna be focusing on hatred. We're gonna be projecting our negative emotions onto the man, the myth, James Robert, over here. So that's the plan. We're just gonna project all our negativity onto him. He's earned it.
Use
I'm
your
not appealing to
very
myself for
human.
that.
Did you use your very fallible human brain to, or are all the people using their very fallible human brains in this hypothetical?
God, I hope so.
That would be, well, from your view, that'd be the case, but not from my view. From my view, this would be a commandment from God. So I'm actually not appealing to myself. I'm appealing to God.
So God is doing the thinking for you.
God is telling me what's good or what's wrong or what's right based on His nature. That's how I can.
Does God cause you to act? Does He violate your free will?
No, I wouldn't say God caused me to act.
So the only way you can even know if
Why is
what
he wearing
God
a
is saying
suit?
is right or wrong is to use your human reason.
I can't make sense of why he is where. Why are they dressed up like this? I mean, I guess just making an event of it, making a spectacle of it. But yeah, it's a little cringy.
Is it coherent within my system?
If you ask me, no, but this will take us outside the scope of what we're trying to discuss here. So all I'm trying to point out to you is I don't see how you're actually interjecting any Christianity.
I want the
here.
ethics
Not
of
really.
my nation to be based on Christian ethics. Like, I don't know how many times
you're using your human reason to do that, and you're doing it in the interest of bettering the lives of humans. That's literally just humanism, and you're using your brain to do it. That's very secular of you.
No, it's not very secular of me. Because
God's not doing any of the work. You're using your human brain.
This is awful. If this is not, I mean, presumably being like broadcast on a neutral platform as well, this is going to be the only version of this debate, and there's no way Peterson's going to, saw you reviewed Jim Bob debate once, the only one I've seen from him. Oh no, yeah, he's got a lot of really bad debates. It's hard to. I actually watch so many of these. I kind of just have to like pick at random sometimes which ones I'm actually going to review. And I can't track like for the whole thing. Like usually, if I'm going to like actually review the debate, I just base it on like the opening argument usually, and then somewhere in the conclusion and the final. But yeah, like there's very technically minded people who can kind of debunk a lot of Jim Bob's arguments. I tend to go for the incredulity, right? Because that's like most of what he does is like is incredulity and like whataboutism. But there's like scientifically technical stuff you can critique about the things he's saying. Even I catch a little bit of that, but yeah, and it's his mannerisms in general. He's very duplicitous, I would say, like in the way he acts with people. and I think that's one of the tells of his character, and like the way a lot of Christians are, like, the way they're perceived versus how they really are if you know them personally. It did not give me a favorable opinion. No, yeah, this guy is. I mean, I tend to think, like, I try to be charitable in saying, like, I think he's playing kind of a character, and he's very, like, reactionary to the way he feels that maybe, like, atheists have treated him or something. But he does this to all, like, types of people, like other Christians, and it's not exclusive to the atheists. So yeah, yeah. I mean, he is generally like this online, at least. But I feel like these people, like, they would have a really hard time getting along in life, if they were like this, just in general.
Hold on,
Say,
from my
I
view,
think society
hold
would
on.
be better if we did blank.
Hold on,
Therefore,
from my
I'm going
view,
to do blank.
From my view, can the Holy Spirit
Muslims
move
do the
people?
exact same thing. It's
The Holy Spirit,
indistinguishable.
can the Holy Spirit guide people? From my view,
I think there are people that, well, I mean, there are denominations that don't think that, I believe, but
okay. So from the Orthodox view, yes, the Holy Spirit can move through people. It can guide people. So if that's the case, how, like, and let's just say, like, I could somehow associate it and say, like, the Holy Spirit is the one guiding us to do this. That's not very secular anymore, is it?
is that what you actually believe?
That the Holy Spirit moves with the church? Absolutely, yeah.
Well, do you believe that when you make moral decisions, do you think the Holy Spirit is actually doing it for you?
Doing it for me? No, I didn't say that it was doing it for me, but I can say that it can definitely help in clear, like in the clearing of the noose when I make decisions, right?
Oh, geez, the noose. I've heard of this noose before.
So they have a segment now where they're texting back and forth, and okay, this is all very humorous, I suppose. Okay, I don't know how long we're going to entertain this actually, before going on to. What is this? Weirdos. All right, all right. I had a thought and it vanished because they just started doing weird shenanigans.
Income inequality and cyber terrorism over the last several decades.
That's not
So
true.
it hasn't caught. Okay, what else?
Women's happiness. has
Oh
actually
yeah.
gone
Okay,
down
so it came
relative
back
both
to me.
men and-
It came back to me. I don't know anything about this Steelborn guy. I know I see him a lot in Jim Bob's chats, and he follows Jim Bob around and stuff. But I do remember him bringing this up, just based on, like, I just expected him to be older. I guess that doesn't really matter. It's just he looks very young to me, and I think that's kind of interesting. But Peterson's actually, like, fairly young too. He maybe looks older than he is, I think, if I remember correctly. But I don't know all that much about these peoples and stuff. So we'll go back to the list. The list is down here. Yeah, it's in here somewhere. And we got some other stuff saved in there. Hey, I clicked the button. Click the button. Oh yeah, this one's got to go in the list too. I got to remember to do that before the end of the stream here.
The thing is, I don't know what his position is, apart from I don't understand evolution. I have evidence for evolution, and I can explain evolution to him, but he's not even accepting the fact that evolution, there's no difference between micro and macro. He's just going, oh, well, that's different, and I say it's different. I mean,
I feel like I have no idea how many hours of this conversation I've actually covered at this point, but I know it's got to be, like, it's got to be getting up there, like, to a ridiculous level, probably.
what
Tell me when you're
questions
done.
can I ask him?
Yeah, tell me when you're
Please, Jim Bob, present your case
I
for an
just-
alternative to
Well,
evolution.
first of all, presenting an alternative would appeal to the scientific method, being that the only arbiter for two competing hypotheses is an experiment in natural science. But if I can't even if you can't even take evolution through the scientific,
The arbiter of two competing hypotheses is an experiment. I mean, kind of. No, not really. It's like scientific theories don't really, like, work that way. On, like, usually you don't have, like, I mean, you could have two competing hypotheses that are like, but it's usually going to be through, like, many, many series of trials and experiments before you can like conclude which direction you're leaning in. And even then, it's more like a direction. It's not an absolute certainty. As sure as you can get about the validity of a theory, it's not absolutely certain at any point.
Method,
right?
I did that.
dude.
It's not like a 100% like we proved it, slam dunk.
I'm
That's it.
talking. If you
But
can't,
I did that. Did you not remember? I literally did that just
Unbelievable.
now.
He can't control himself.
No, I'm just saying, Jim Bob, I
Yeah.
did that just now. Do you
Okay,
not
so-
remember?
That's Daniel Berry Sports Highlights. Happy Thursday and good to see you as well.
Craig also just said that observing adaptation at the bacterial level is observing evolution. If
Yes.
observation of adaptation is identical to evolution, then you're observing the theory that you're trying to prove by just naming it evolution. Now, if all you had to do, Craig, is observe bacteria, you wouldn't need to craft a scientific theory.
No, see, and he's wrong there. Like we can observe the adaptations taking place in like extant light forms, right? That's one proof of what we're saying. But the theory of evolution is just saying that all of life has continuously evolved over time. Like, and there's the common ancestor theory, which is widely accepted, which basically just says that all like biological living things such as ourselves came from a singular living thing that was not really like any of us, but it had the components necessary to reproduce to make the things that we evolved into over a long series of many uncountable adaptations over time.
Because your observation is literally the name of the theory, evolution.
If you just want to make assumptions, yeah, but the fact is, in
Evolution and adaptation are not synonymous there. That's a misnomer.
science, we like to observe something, ask a question about it, form a hypothesis, predict from that hypothesis, and then test that hypothesis, because we don't just go, oh, we saw
Okay,
a thing, we saw it happening, so therefore
Okay.
that's that.
Okay.
As in science,
Reminder too, we're watching this from Jim Bob's end, and so it's his fault that we're in this format. It's all Jim Bob's fault because he's screen sharing from the back room, and for some reason Craig's on the big screen in his back room, right? So that's his fault.
we
entirely.
like to go through the scientific method. And Jim Bob, you are lying to everybody watching right now by saying I couldn't take you through the scientific method when I did exactly that. You not understanding the scientific method and disagreeing with the scientific method is a you problem.
Okay, cool. So this is the thing. If observing bacteria change and react to stimuli is evolution, then it's unnecessary to craft a
Didn't say change, you said adapt. Change and adapt are not exactly the same either.
hypothesis or a theory because you're literally observing the
not.
thing you're calling evolution everywhere.
No, it's not, because you do that to do science. You don't just
Oh, wow.
go, oh, well, I'm
That's
observing
big brain
that.
stuff.
Don't worry, I'm talking.
do
You don't
science.
just do it. You don't
Actually,
just
it is.
look at it and go, well, that's that. Even if you think you've observed the thing happening and you call it that thing, you still do tests on that thing to make sure it is that thing. You go through the scientific method, like I have with you many times already, Jim Bob, and you have just denied it.
Okay. Here, let's take a different approach here. Let's take like a cat. Okay. A cat, would you agree that a cat is a sort of universal category of an animal?
A cat is
No.
a universal category of an animal.
Yeah, a cat's not a dog, right?
Well, no, a cat's not a dog.
Okay,
It's
a cat. Okay.
genetically separate.
Is there, what the fuck do you mean by a universal category? There's not a universal category of anything. That doesn't make any kind of fucking sense. A linguistic category? A fucking science? Yeah, there's not a universal category in by which like that cat is meant. Like if I say pussy, for example, right? Is a pussy a cat? Or in what universal category does the pussy fit, right? Am I talking about a cat or am I using innuendo? Am I talking about something else?
Species.
Got you. Was there a time under the evolutionary view where a cat, as we know it today, actually wasn't a cat? That it just didn't exist?
Yes, cats and dogs and you and I all have common ancestors.
Okay. So if the common ancestor for a cat was one thing, how do you look at bacteria changing and come to the conclusion that there was once an animal that's not a cat that the splintering from, fractioning from became a cat, where a cat emerged from this process? How do you extrapolate
What the
the one?
fuck are you even talking about, man? cats are domesticated fucking animals like dogs, right? Like the house cats that you're talking about, bear very little resemblance to wild cats, right? I mean, they're all cats, but a fucking tiger and a calico or something. I don't, is the calico technically like a breed or is it a color? I don't know. Anyway, regardless, like obviously a tiger and a house cat are two distinctly like different, even though they are the same type of thing. Like you're getting a whole different. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I wouldn't. Well, I mean, I think they call them like big cats or wild cats or something like. So they are kind of, but you're making some. There's like a difference, distinction without a difference, or one of those. I don't know. He's just where the fuck is he
One
going?
to the other.
We look at the evidence we have, which is the fossil records that we do have, even if they're not 100% complete. We look at what we do have, we form hypotheses from all the information that we have, and we go, well, if this is what we think evolution is, then we can test it and see that we can change a species. Now, when you put E. coli into a solution that is poisonous to it, it literally becomes a different species of E. coli with different DNA and different attributes to survive.
I don't know if it's just because I've watched this so much, or because we've actually covered this in previous episodes, which is highly possible. But I'm getting a strange sense of deja vu right now.
Within that solution that
How-
was previously
how does-
poisonous to
dude,
it.
We're caught up,
dude,
man.
I asked you-
I'm in the middle. If you want me to get through,
You
an
can't gish gallop,
explanation-
bro.
No, it's not gish galloping. It is me having an explanation, Jim Bob. But the problem is, you don't let me get to the end, and then interrupt.
What did I ask
right?
you?
So just be quiet. You asked me if I can explain to you how we can have what was before a cat and say, well, there's now a cat, and then
That's
relate
not what I
that
asked
to
you.
bacteria.
Okay, yeah. So
Yes, it is.
now, more clearly, how do you look at the local level of change, which I call
It's really not clear what the question is, actually. It's not a clearly formulated question. It makes a number of additional, I think, suppositions that aren't really, there to begin with.
adaptation to external stimuli, right?
Evolution. That's what evolution is.
Stop. How do you look at that event and then extrapolate that a cat, right, through fossils now? How do you extrapolate
Yes.
that a cat comes from things that are not cats?
Because we look at the fossils that we do have.
How?
The fossils that don't. What do you mean, how? We take
you
fossils
just look at
and
them?
we look at. Am I allowed to answer the question?
Yes, you fucking look at them, man. You look at them, you compare them, you measure them, you use like tools, and you do experiments with them. Yeah, you fucking look at them. Look at the bones.
Right, Jim, when you
It's a
ask
little
a
meme
question,
now.
that's when you stop talking and let the other person speak. Cool. So, yes, we look at fossils, we examine them, we compare them to other skeletons and stuff that we have of different creatures. We compare them to other fossil records that we have.
Okay.
We do experiments on the DNA and stuff that we have within them,
Okay.
and we compare them to what is now, and we make inferences. And we use that as part of our hypothesis to then form predictions and do tests. Now, here's the
Okay.
thing. We don't have time machines, so we can't go
It's funny because I was having this conversation earlier, and somebody told me, they're like a gig driver or whatever, and told me that they overheard a conversation that took place in the back seat between this man, this woman, and they had prior knowledge that the man was not the woman's husband, and so then they proceeded to start talking about the woman's husband. And like, oh, did he know that you came over the other night or whatever, yada yada, this type of thing. And so this person made this inference that, oh, she must be sleeping with this guy like behind her husband's back. And I was like, well, it's reasonable to maybe think that, but do we have all the information? We don't really have all the information to conclude that these two people are actually having an affair, right? We have a partial picture, and it looks a little sketchy. It looks a little weird from the outside observer's point of view, but we really don't have all the facts to reach that conclusion, right? And so that's where it's like, oh yeah, you got to make sure that you're not jumping to conclusions here. Yeah, I think that's it's a reasonable perspective to have on things. We just want to have all the fucking facts, man, before we start making assumptions about what's really going on. All right. We'll go and start one of these new ones up. I think we'll start with the most recent, then work our way back, I suppose. I don't know. Is that how we should do it? I'm so confused right now. All right. Well, yeah, we'll go to this Mormon call-in one that we were watching earlier today. Let's get past the intro. Okay. It's kind of freezing up on me a little bit. Can we do it?
I have not done a space on X. Have a weird opener. Come on, bro. Yo, yo, yo. What the heck's going on, bros, geese, and ladies? Right? That came off. That was weird. That was a weird opener. What's up, bros? Grace. How you guys doing? Today's going to be interesting. I haven't done a create a space, right? A space? I don't believe in space. I have not done a space
Doesn't
on
believe in
X.
space.
And what better topic right now? Not that it's relevant. It's not actually relevant to the goings on, but Mormons just seem to they just keep crawling back to me.
You just said he doesn't believe in space.
They keep crawling on back to me. And I'm like, hey, you guys, you still saying you're Christian? And so I think it's time to open it up, right? Because I've debated them before and, in a formal setting, and there's not many of them that'll do it. But they're awfully loud on X, I find. And now I'm going to invite them to defend their view because it's a simple proposition. They say they're Christian. I say, I don't think you guys have any basis to affirm the Bible. And to say you're...
So yeah, this is like a 4-hour stream, and I think I was probably like halfway into it when I was listening, and he was already like over this topic. So either nobody came to debate him, or he didn't like his opponents, but he moved on to their shit.
Anything in the Bible, and there being a church, and a whole slew of other things, and church history, and there being a church, and a whole slew of other things. And so when I say a Mormon doesn't have good reason to reference the Bible or believe anything in the Bible, insofar as the accounts of Christ, the resurrection, the Great Commission, the apostolic age, they don't have...
Well, the whole fucking Book of Mormon is a foretelling, is a prophecy of the New Testament that, according to the book itself, as an internal critique, like refers to the coming of Christ in a different, a different setting, a different place, right? Different peoples, and tells of the coming of Christ, and so it's a prophetic like type of tale.
Have a good reason to affirm it, other than Joseph Smith. That's what's weird. It's like, what is a Mormon before Joseph Smith? It's a non-existent church. There's no church before Joseph Smith. Resurrection.
Well, there is a church before Joseph Smith. Joseph Smith gets the knowledge that has been lost. That's the story, right? Joseph Smith finds the tablets, they've been buried, or the plates or what have you, right? Like they've been buried, they've been lost to history. So there was a church, and then the church gets like lost to history, and then Joseph Smith gets a revelation, and he resurrects it.
And they don't really answer this question. They just restate scriptures, and then they appeal to Joseph Smith again. And I'm just still waiting.
I think I just explained it pretty succinctly.
I'm still waiting. Hello. All right. So we're going to try to do that. We'll just wait a little bit, though, for the people to come here. Scud incoming. Yes, tonight is Scud. I hope you're very excited about it. Very excited about it, because I am. I'm a little nervous about tech stuff, because I'm a boomer. But tech has been relatively okay lately. Knock on wood. So that's exciting. I'm very pumped about it. It's a very fun new approach to debating, to the presentation.
Is it though?
So that's good. Yep, I'm attracting all of them. I attract all of them. So you get so much LDS ads. Yeah, there's actually a thing. The more you attack LDS, the more ads you'll get. The more you attack Islam on X, your feed will just be pure Islam. And I'm like, is it worth it? It is. It is. So anyway, we're gonna do that.
All right, let's skip ahead a little bit.
See who else
pulling
is
up.
here. Look at this. Look at me. Look at me growing up. Look at me growing up. You guys, I'm doing
Cute. He's got a Discord chat. I can't figure out how to fucking do this.
request up. One requested. Yeah, I'm gonna test my audio here. IG. Where are you? IG. Oh, I keep going. Do it again. It's not coming through. Hold on.
Nope.
This. Okay.
Get with it,
Do it again.
boomer.
Test, test.
Yes.
Hello, hello,
We're-
test, test.
Good. We're good now. Again.
Say it. Hello, test, test.
Nice.
Hello,
All right.
hello.
We're in. Everybody, we're in. We did it. And we did it. Okay, so I'm looking for, obviously, I'm going to wait around here for Mormons. They're very aggressive on X. Let's see if they can jump in. Do we have any Mormons? My claim is that Mormons
Nope.
are not Christian. That's my claim. Do we have any Mormons? Jace, you're not a Mormon, are you?
I'm an ex-Mormon.
Yeah. Well, that's just a support role. So.
Yeah. I can make their argument for them.
Right. Yeah. I
Yeah.
know. I know you could. I know. You could say all the
Well,
things
let
that
'em
they
do
say.
it.
Yeah. When did you leave?
Yep.
Just until we find a Mormon. When did you get out of there?
Well, I haven't been active, I guess, for years, but then I just realized it was all wrong,
Deconversion stories with Jim Bob. Who would have
stuff
thought?
like that, and
Yeah.
thinking about, oh yeah, it all relies on Joseph Smith and his word.
Yep.
Everything does it.
So, are you Orthodox, or are you looking into Orthodoxy?
Like, whose word are you relying on when you rely on the Bible? Whose word do you think you're? This shit cracks me up. They're like, well, why do we trust Joseph Smith? I'm like, why would you trust any of those anonymous fucks? Who wrote the shit that you're talking about?
I
What are
have
you
not
talking
gone
about?
yet.
Oh yeah. And you have something
did-
near you at least?
About an hour away, but it's worth
Okay.
going.
Okay. Yeah. Hours.
Yeah.
People do that.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool. Do you still talk to Mormons and like kind of push back on them and debate them
No.
or whatever, or are you just kind of like disengaged?
My family is very Mormon, and I was raised Mormon, and I've talked to my mom about it a little bit.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is, she always has told me her whole life, especially now when I'm talking.
I don't really want to hear this guy's story, honestly.
To that,
Pretty much.
right? And then you press them further, and what happens is why do you trust Joseph Smith? And they ultimately become their own Joseph Smith. They say, oh, I trust myself about Joseph Smith. So,
100%.
Yeah, why do you trust anything that's written in any part of the Bible? Like, just in the first place. I mean, I really don't see how you think that you have a leg to stand on by saying, well, Joseph Smith. I was like, well, you could say that about anybody who wrote any of the fucking scriptures, right? Like, we don't even know who most of them are, and if we think we know who they are, we know, we know that likely some of them aren't who they claim to be. Right? The most likely, some of the authors are most definitely fucking fraudulent, or at least weren't around in the time and place that they claim that they were. Right? So what are you talking about? Like we
yeah. So it's just an interesting track that, like a logical tree that you can produce almost every time, but you got to get them on, right? So they're really loud on X, right? And now I don't see any.
so repost your show on X, you fucking twat.
I don't see any.
Yeah, where are they?
Guys, hey, Mormons. I figured
Hey, sure, good to see you. Much love.
out how to open a space, and this is how you repay me? All right, well,
I'll let you go, and hopefully you can get a good Mormon who believes.
I appreciate you.
Oh, maybe he is on X. Maybe I was confused about that. I guess this is the disc or the Twitter space or the X space, or whatever, not the Discord apparently. So it looks a lot like
Yeah.
Discord.
See you,
Have a
man.
good one.
Oh shit! I'm gonna sneeze.
All
Go
right.
sneeze.
There goes the one. Seems like the one and only an ex-Mormon. Is this? Should I turn this
I hit
into
the
an
button on
ex-Mormon
time.
support group call? Is that what?
You could. It probably would have been more successful. Didn't one of them write from prison? Well, I mean, I maybe that's possible. I mean, there was definitely a story about him being in prison. He definitely told that story. I remember that one.
What you do? You know what I mean? Maybe. Come Come on, people. Where are you? Let down.
Debate me, bro.
No, is this what I have to do? Look, I'll go review a video. You know,
Do it.
unbelievable. All right, I'll keep that on the background here until I see otherwise. None of them want to call in, right? I got a live right now, guys. Call in.
Look, he had like a 6-minute intro, so technically he's been streaming for like all of 14 minutes, and he's like, "Why haven't a dozen Mormons jumped in? I don't get it." But
Space. Come on, dudes. Gosh. Okay, we got to record. All right, maybe we got someone here. All right. Hello. Oh. Is he gone? Just like that? Elkia. Are you a Mormon? Calling again, bro. I once debated a Mormon who was also a neutral. I felt like I found a shiny Pokemon. That's the one thing Mormonism's right about.
you say their name was IKEA?
The title's rage baity enough. Yeah, I mean it's like a straightforward, straightforward. It's not Mormon. I mean it's not Christian. So where are these guys? They're posting about me. Nowhere in sight. Nowhere to be found. Anyway, yeah, I was stewing a bit yesterday about the Ali Stuckey thing. It really annoys me. It just annoys me.
Yeah, I watched that. Did not say.
That's the sort of softball.
I thought it was kind of interesting though, because she was like cross-examining this Mormon guy. But yeah, it's just I don't know. It was really, really kind of really immature. I would say it was lowbrow even for Jim.
Learn about your beliefs. I don't want to be disrespectful, and I'm not gonna give them any of the stuff they got. I don't even give you guys Mormons. I don't give you guys the Bible. And my simple question still has gone unanswered all over X here. I asked the same question.
I don't understand why he thinks he needs to grant Mormons the Bible. If they already believe in the Bible, why would you even deny that that's the fucking case?
The reason I asked this question is because from their view, the Bible was compiled by a false church. The beginning of their so-called fallen
That is not what it says.
away church is in the 1st century. Now, they do think that John is, like I say, sometimes he's in Miami, maybe golfing, fishing, and waiting for a chance to go on Fresh and Fit.
What the fuck? This fucking guy right here. Speaking of which, oh wait, I'd have to move some stuff around to do that. I was gonna do something. Maybe I can figure out how to do this in a hot second here. Give me a minute.
So the apostles, except for John, they all died, and that's when the beginning of the loss happens, where the bride of Christ goes to sleep. Sleeping Beauty, waiting for Joseph Smith to resuscitate her with 2 golden plate defibrillators. Okay, let's get into it. Where are you guys? Nowhere. They're nowhere. And this. They're all aggressive when I post. They're everywhere when I post. This guy's aggressive. Joy, look, dude. Come on in. Look. Call in the space, guy. I'm live. So aggressive. So silent. This is a testament, right? This is a demonstration, isn't it? All right. Optics are not good, Joe Smitty people. Optics not good.
Optics not good.
Wouldn't the prompt, are Protestants Christian, be more provocative? Yes, I'll do that at some other time. I really want to go after them first.
In my country, Scud translates from Hindi to moving quickly. Now, if you'll excuse me, I must scuttle along to meet with Marilyn for a painting with Pope class.
Okay. Anyone? Mormon? Speakers? Anybody? Want to get them up? Defend Mormonism? Anybody?
Hey, Jim Bob. Mormons are not even Mormon.
They're not even Mormon?
Brigham Young is the first prophet apostate.
Mm-hmm. So you're saying, well, there is that interesting split, right? Where Mormons and LDS are even make distinctions, right? Is that what you're saying?
No, not as far as what the fuck are you talking about, dude? Mormons are members of the LDS.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That
What are they talking about?
doesn't help them, does
Schismed.
it? Yeah, they have a schism. Well, still, did you grow up Mormon or?
Yeah, I'm here for the ex-Mormon support group.
Oh, the ex-Mormon support group. Maybe I should just retitle it ex-Mormon support group.
It's hard to point at on the doll where they touched me because it's my soul.
Your soul, yeah.
My no spot.
Yeah, I know. It's rough. Did you? Yeah. Well, I don't know how to get them up here, guy. I just don't. They're very active in response, but they're not very active in person.
Boring.
Exceedingly common. Yeah.
Call in my live X space. Why are you guys scared? Am I that big of a jerk? Am I that much of a bully? Maybe I am. You know, maybe
My
I
mom
am.
is an ex-Mormon.
Boring. I know there is some interesting shit later on that I watched, but it's not. This is not the topic. Mormons are more hypocritical than Catholics. They're like almost the same, really. Like pretty much they're the same. Actually, so this is what I wanted to show everybody. Hold on, if I can work out the bugs here. I'm gonna have to remove. This is such a tough decision. But I think we're gonna have to take Crispin Glover out of the rotation. Rest in peace, Crispin Glover. It's been a wild ride, man. Okay, so with that, without further ado, okay, can I? Yes, delete that, and then so I have this other image that I'm going to share with you. So just as it turns out, just a strange so circumstances of sorts that I can't explain exactly, but I was baptized Mormon a couple of days ago, and yeah, I had to crop out the elders. I don't want to dox my elders, but so we did the thing, and yeah, I'm going to do my meeting, getting the priesthood, doing the priesthood thing. I'm gonna, yeah. Anyway, but regardless, yeah, there's me in my jumpsuit, getting ready to go in the bath, and yeah, get my sins washed away. Yeah, this guy's like, no one will call in as a way to prove his point. No, yeah. So Jim Bob does think he's like the hottest thing since sliced bread, I think. He has a pretty high opinion of himself, but part of that I think is probably just the character, I suppose. So yeah, give him that. He plays it well, but is it sincere? I don't know. I can never tell with these guys. Like, I don't think people can go through life this way.
The same two men would constantly try to bring her back into the cult for nearly 20 years until they gave up. I call them Mormon ninjas because of their black suit and tie. Even tried to drive us with a generator during a massive power outage from a blizzard.
Oh, okay, Addie. Is another support group, Addie? Anybody? Where's Addie? I just approved Addie to come up if you're a Mormon and you wanted to try to defend the claim that Mormons are Christian. Give it a go. Been fun badgering pagans and Mormons with you. Yeah, it's fun. The pagans are hilarious though, because they really are like they're like politically driven. It's not a spiritual thing for them.
I also have to say, like, this is just a weird format for him, and considering like he does, he has like animations and shit. Like he's really like laxed with the whole setup on this thing. If he really wants to get attention, you would think there would be like a visual in the background, something going on.
They're like, look at this stupid stuff, and you passive Christians. I want to bang a squirrel. You're like, what? Like, what's the problem? Addie, are you there?
Yeah, sorry, I had to unmute, dude.
Unmute, dude. Are you a Mormon X support group or Mormon proper?
Mormon X support group. I grew up Mormon. With my family, we got baptized into the Orthodox Church.
Beautiful. Glory to God.
Last week, so glory to God.
Wow, that's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be tough finding Mormons. They don't even like arguing with each other because one wrong word might push them over the edge, and they
Yeah.
leave the church. So
I tend to agree with that a little bit, actually. And somebody else was making a similar point. So I have noticed, like, one thing that I think is different about the LDS, like, is that, like, we'll have these groups, they call it, like the quorums or whatever, and like a topic will be brought up, and two people will say kind of like, somewhat related, but not quite, like, they'll kind of like make two conflicting points about like the nature of God or God's plan or something like that, and then the leader of the group will then like speak up and be like, oh yeah, it's interesting how the it's revealed to us in these different ways, but very rarely, only on certain occasions, I think they like correct and say, oh, but God definitely actually means this, and then like, but they seem to be like pretty slow to do that, and most of the time, like, it seems like they're trying to just like quash a controversy before it starts, like if two people seem to like be conflicting in any way, but they're also very like mild mannered about it, so it doesn't seem like an argument. You have to be like kind of paying attention to see that there's like this subtle conflict in whatever the point is. Yeah, people take this shit pretty seriously, apparently.
Yeah, it's like a circus act.
yeah, I mean, the biggest. I've been listening to the Mormon arguments you guys have been having. I don't really know how effective the Protestant, like, where did the Bible come from stuff is a very good argument for Mormons.
Against Mormons?
Well, because it's not really a good internal critique for them per se, because they don't, like, you guys have noticed,
Yeah.
Mormons don't even really believe in the Bible.
Well,
So-
they don't believe in the Bible, and they don't believe that it's infallible anyway, but
I don't know why they keep saying that. I mean, I don't think they don't believe that. As far as infallibility, maybe not. But I mean, the whole thing is based on being like a contemporaneous account of happenings, like prophecies of events that lines with the Bible and the resurrection of Jesus. That's the whole fucking point of the story. The Book of Mormon wouldn't exist without influence from the Bible. Like, it wouldn't. What are you talking about? You can't just. It can't be. It can't stand alone without reference to the Bible.
Yeah, I understand that point. Like, I go a little bit parallel to that. I go to, how did you know about Christ, right? Who gave you the Bible is a different relevant topic, but I don't go there. I actually just go to how do you know about Christ? And they have to say the Bible, and I just simply ask, why would you trust this Bible at all? Like, on what basis does a Mormon trust the Bible at all? And I don't think there's actually a good answer.
On the same basis that you would trust
Their
it.
Mormon Bible has extra curricular activities of Christ written in it, so
I know.
The Mormon Bible is the Book of Mormon, and it's meant to be read alongside with the Bible, as well as it's not like a replacement for.
But but the Mormon Bible, the Book of Mormon, is still first referencing, it's in reaction to the existing knowledge of Christ. So even if they say, well, I came to it from the Book of Mormon, and then I ask, okay, and the Book of Mormon has a source, right? And they say, yeah, my daddy Smitty. And then you go, well, how did Joseph Smith know about Christ? How did he come to know about Christ? And you start to realize that
because he started out as a fucking Christian in the fucking I was just watching a thing about this too. I believe he was a Protestant, but I may be wrong about that. But either way, he was in one of your fucking bogus sects of Christianity. It was like, and there was the debate was going on between different sects of Christianity, and that's the whole way the book comes about. Is like he's asking God, like, which one of these churches do I go with? And God tells him, don't go with either of them, do your own shit. And that's how the whole thing starts, right? That's the whole story. Is that he's already in the church, and he's got like two different preachers in two different churches telling him two different fucking things. And he's like, who do I go with? And God tells him, fuck both those guys, start your own church, right? Like, that's the story of Mormonism in a nutshell.
very quickly,
basically.
that you have to depend on some sort of history, and you have to depend on a reliable source of documentation and preservation to know about Christ, to claim there's any person named Christ and we should believe anything said about Christ, they don't have a good reason. So if they go,
All right. I think we'll move on. We're like half hour into this now. I think we'll remember that, and go on to the next one. This we never really like make ground in this show. If you haven't figured it out, this is like a means to an end. It's a cyclical thing that's going to keep going on forever. It's like eternity. It's never going to end. And we never reach any logical conclusions here because we're dealing with this guy on YouTube. It's kind of the point of the fucking endeavor, I suppose. See, he has very colorful intros. See if it's about 6 minutes long again. Yep, looks like just about. Yeah, a little longer this time. Come on, buddy, start your fucking stream. 7 minutes. Indigestion, I'm sorry. I apologize for that. Come on, my guy.
na, 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 na. Ha!
10-minute intro this time. Okay, so I do know a little bit about what's going to happen later on in this stream. I kind of select these a little bit. I'm a little selective, but I'm not like fucking Nazi. Yeah, some of them I want to cover, and I'm like, no, it's probably going to have like too much traction or be too meaty, and I don't like that. I don't want it to be too meaty. I want these to be like bite-sized bits of Jim Bob. Oh, hey, what's up, Todd? Good to see you. Stopping by. Well, have a good night's rest, and watch later. Hit the button on your way out or whatever. Maybe my voice will put you to sleep as you drift into Neverland. Sure, this is like a dog chasing its tail. It's fun to watch. Yeah, it gives us something to do. Well, we'll exercise exercise some portion of our brain. I don't know if it's the useful part, but it's definitely working in there somewhere.
Hey, everybody. Happy Thursday. It's 11 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. Today, we're going to do a variety show. We're actually going to talk about two completely unrelated things. One, we're going to review some progressive knob who thinks, I don't know, he's reviewing some interaction with Andrew and some chick, and he's really missing it all. So I want to look at that. Probably drop some Andrew haters. And then a buddy of mine made a video about the dodecahedron. You guys know what the dodecahedron is? It's like that weird geometric shape with holes in it and has beads on it, and people are like mystified by it. It's from the Roman period, and they're trying to draw up what it is. Is it sound oriented? Is it just aesthetic? Do you throw it at people? Yeah, I don't know. I haven't looked into it. But he sent it to me, and he has a small little channel, so I thought I'd review it, and you guys can put on your tinfoil hats and see if it all makes sense. My fishy philosophers. Jim Bob, have you watched the new Hoover Institute episode with Stephen Meyer and Jay Lennox? No? Sounds like something? Yeah, we can look at that. Welcome to the Hoover Institute. More like the Boomer Institute. I just went to the gym, which is awesome. Go me. Everyone should go to the gym. I just got to make sure to keep my posture. That's all it is. I got to wait for my posture to correct itself. All right, after the gym, I had to sneak into Rhythm Church, get my groove on with Stella. So I went in there and crunked and torqued a little bit, twerking for Christianity. So I hit up that spot. Y'all came around to Starbucks. And then I headed back to the pad. Yeah. I head back to the pad. You know what I'm saying? I went to Juke. That whole thing is a mess, huh? I'm already bored of it. Totally bored of it. Yeah. That's right. Yeah. No, we got hoops down in the basement. I knew you'd be coming by. Yeah. Is 20 side shaped? Yes. Half Black Justin would know something like this. None of us do. He does. The entire ethnocentric view collapsed in a single chat for $2. It's a 20-sided shape, D20, if you will. Such a nerd. Such a half a nerd. We evolved from bananas. Banantium. I like it. Banantium. That's good. That's good. That's nice. Make sure you're following OrthoThugs. Tomorrow we're doing a final season episode, and then we have a really fun new structure. We launch each month with an opening sort of fundraiser to fund the rest of the month and all of our antics, which include, not limited to, Scud making its premiere before that, next Thursday. And then it goes into OrthoThugs is the beginning. First Friday every month, OrthoThugs. Then it's Heel Tony. And then it's Scud. And then we end the month with OrthoThugs. Sit up straight, elbows on the table. Sit up straight, elbows on the table.
Got this fucking thing going on.
Q. How does one not convince another?
It's almost like it's basically like his version of like Apologetics Roadshow, but it's him and the other dude from that's hosting the debate with him. These guys, I mean, they're really fucking like, I mean, talk about circle jerk bros, you know? I mean, that's really what it is. I mean, I don't care what any of these guys title, you know, debate bros, ortho bros, it's all the fucking same. You're all just jerking each other off in your fucking echo chambers and feeling proud of yourselves.
I'm glad you were wrong. So I don't know what to start with. You guys want to start with the dodecahedron, or do you want to start with Andrew's little thing? I don't know what this guy's thinking. What is his name? Charles Kent? I see you, Charles Kent. Terrible. Small channel, 8,000. But he thinks he's got something here. And I'm like, no, dude, you're this whole summary is so off. It's all so off. It's all so bad. Unrelated question. Have you or will you review Andrew's exchange on Constantine? I did a little bit of that. Not much needed there, Freddie. I did a little bit of that. You know. You know, it's like watching is like Andrew has a really, like in comedy terms, like the way you would tour with a set, he's got his set down. And it's like the people who know, and the people who don't know are hit again for the first time, and you watch it and it unfolds. So that's kind of how I experience it. I was like, oh.
Andrew's kind of interesting in that he doesn't have like the same type of like set script, or I think he has different tactics to kind of like divert the conversation when it runs off script. And that's kind of interesting in his method. But
later first, okay, let's do that because the dodecahedron is kind of fun, and you guys could give it a follow. I'll put it in the description. All right, let's get this up on the screen here, and let's take a look.
Do first?
This guy's so off. I wanted to tag him and be like, I'm gonna wreck you, but I'm tired of that too now, because I like a part of me. I think it's the pride.
Yeah, I kind of somewhat remember this now, and then like this is kind of interesting, and then we get this dual coverage of his buddy's video, and then there's gonna be some shit after that. But we probably won't make it through all of this one. But this, I think I remember being kind of interesting.
This is some exchange. I don't know. This is like, what do they do? Rumble exclusive or something? With Ian, who's the guy who wants to be a rock star on Tim Pool? New Ager guy. I don't know his name. Ian McDonald. We'll go with that.
That's funny. I recently heard there's a scientific fact that tinfoil hats work. Yeah, the question is, what are you? What are your expectations? Like, what do you expect the hat to do, right? Because they can definitely work for something. That's for sure. They're not completely useless.
You guys catch that contradiction immediately? Guys, there's these people with guns and they're ruling the world and they're running the show and we got to stop them.
Oh, do we miss the beginning of the debate?
You guys,
guy overthrows that around and had this.
All right.
Oh no, this is the coming up portion. Okay, I'm not gonna worry about
There's
that.
these people with guns and they're ruling the world and they're running the show and we got to stop them. Because there's all these people with like groups of men with guns who are making stuff happen, and we got to stop that trend of men with guns dictating stuff. Okay, already dumb. All right, this is already dumb, dude. It's already.
Yeah, putting an end to violent authoritarian rule. I mean, that sounds like a reasonable endeavor.
Dumb. Should have went to, dude. Dude,
He's like, this is so dumb. I couldn't fucking wrap my head around the concept of not having violent authoritarian.
I'd rather
rule.
be at Rhythm Church right now, obviously.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel.
Like worse than I know. They're stepping on your toes, dude. It's like there's very few proper representations of gingers, Jason. It must be horrible for you.
Genuine.
Honestly speaking, I mean, It's almost like ginger women are more like sort of brute and masculine and stronger than the ginger men generally. I'm
really glad you're here for this one because this might be one of the most thought-provoking conversations we have looked at in a while. So what you are about to watch is a debate between Andrew, a Christian conservative,
You see how a Christian conservative,
and Kami, a self-described moral anti-realist,
Connie or Kami? Does she call herself Kami?
going head-to-head over one of the most fundamental questions in philosophy. Do rights actually exist? And if so, where do they come from? Andrew comes in swinging with a God-based framework while Kami
Where are my rights people? Yvonne, where you at, Yvonne? You awake yet, Yvonne?
challenges whether rights can even be called real in the first place. And trust me, it goes places you would not expect. Stick with this one all the way through because the moment that changes the entire direction of this debate comes much later than you think. And
wow.
If you leave early, you are going to miss the part where everything flips.
Wow. Good hook, bro. Hey, guys, if you leave early from my live stream, you're gonna miss the moment where everything flips. Monday.
Also, I am genuinely curious where in the world you are watching this from right now. Drop your city or country in the comments. It always blows me away seeing how far
Sounds like an AI generated, like he wrote the script and had AI read it.
this community reaches.
Shut up, Neil.
All right, let's get into it.
There isn't rights at all. From your view, rights are a social construct, aren't they?
I mean, rights are whoever is able to enforce them.
That's right. Right, so it's a social construct. Do you believe in objective truth?
No.
So I can't believe anything you say.
No, I don't believe in objective truth. Okay.
And you don't believe that there's any such thing as rights, but it's wrong for me to do something bad to you, even though there's no moral facts. Ingenious.
Is it still a hang up? I know. We blame the Enlightenment. I call it the crop dust, the philosophical crop dust that has plagued America since its conception.
This is your opposition, ladies and gentlemen. These are the communists who are taking over academia and teaching your kids.
He's like, I blame the Enlightenment, which, by the way, like much of the moral foundation in the West that you're like proclaiming is a Christian like ethos, like a Christian moral system, comes from Enlightenment thinking. Like that's where the abolitionists came out of, was the Enlightenment, right? And there's different periods of Enlightenment, but he's just like, oh, not the fucking Enlightenment. And then see, that's one point where I think he's serious. He believes, because a lot of like questioning religious views came out of those thinkers, right? That it's like against, but actually it helped with the reformation of those religions and making them more inclusive, more tolerant, and less objectively bad.
What's in dispute here is not whether or not you can craft societies in which men grant women rights, because I would.
Hey, my awesome life, good to see you. Much love. I tried to text you and I got no response, and I tried to call you as well. Oh, maybe you texted me back now. Good to see you. Okay. Caught up in
argue that obviously we can see society's right this second. We live in one where men grant women rights.
God, I don't want to interrupt you, but God grants the rights in our.
Oh, shut up, Ian. Shut up, Ian.
Society.
Oh yeah.
Shut up, Ian. Nice flower cup, Ian.
Does he?
Well, that's what the Constitution says.
Come on, Ian.
Well, the Constitution operates on an axiom.
So if it didn't say it, it wouldn't be true? I mean, so wait, if it didn't say that, it wouldn't be true? What are we doing here? So if a piece
I don't think that's true. It's not an axiom. The Constitution does operate on certain precepts, right? Precepts. It's not axiomatic. The Constitution doesn't have to create an axiom in order to justify itself. It just states a fact and then proceeds as if that is the presupposition we're all going along with.
The paper says it, then it's true. Okay, cool. The Bible's true. Bible's true because it's written down.
That all men are created equal.
What podcast? I think this is Rumble. Isn't this one of those Rumble events? I'm just guessing by the green there.
Rumble is not a podcast, by the way. It's a platform.
But this is one of those like Rumble.
It's where all the people who get kicked off of YouTube go, and then they talk about how fucking oppressive the YouTube fascists are because they won't let them say the N-word and whatever they want to do.
Exclusives, but with Tim Pool people.
Cool. Under God, right? This is axiomatic. I'm not saying I don't think it's grounded, and I don't think it's well philosophically grounded. While I, as a Christian, would argue that there's some positive rights, or at least could argue that there's positive rights. From her view, there isn't rights at all. From your view, rights are a social construct, aren't they?
I mean, rights are whoever is able to enforce them.
That's right. So
Yeah, I don't remember where the biblical Bill of Rights, where was that part? I don't remember. I remember all the prohibitions. And I do remember it specifically saying certain things you could do to certain people at certain times. I don't remember it like having like, this is your God-given right at all time. Like free speech wasn't in there for certain. Like he never said that. In fact, God inhibits your speech because you're not allowed to blaspheme, right? So God is actually anti-free speech biblically, in a way. Yeah, it's kind of weird.
it's a social.
So, like a really good test for this is that if you swap the term rights for hall pass for certain behaviors, you have a hall pass for certain behaviors. The reason I say hall pass is even from the position of rights being some sort of privilege or permission, it's not unconditional. There's so many conditions around these things you call rights that you think are embedded in your very human being, as if when you are shot or you die, they float away like another part of your soul. You know. Like your soul detaches from your body, but then there's like this like little notebook. They're your rights. And you're like, you know.
Yeah, the most absurd of rights. You have the right to live until you just don't anymore, right? Like, and no other person can take away your right to live. You're actually, I think by law, like not actually allowed to take away your own right to live. Like people know about it. They're supposed to like lock you up and not let you do that and shit, right? I think it would be difficult to charge a person posthumously with that crime, though, self-murder. It's a bit precarious, but neither here nor there. But then, at the end of that, once you had the right to live, and then if that ended by natural causes, then you've just been deprived of your God-given right by nature, which I guess is God's fault. So, I mean. But he gave you the rights. He could take them away. It's just one of those deals, right?
Do you take them? Do you take them with you or something, or
construct?
But I don't even really dispute with you about the force thing. Like, who determines a right? Is that by divine right, by God or whatever? But like as far as like the practical reality of like who can enforce their rights, that really comes down to force.
I just want to make sure we get this clear. Is a right a social construction from your view? We make it up, and then we have guns and say do it or else. Or these people are allowed to do it, or else.
There's something about...
That's right. Get ready for Savage Carnage Unlimited debates, you guys. The 30th. Right here. Right here. The 30th, 8 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. The first of a series of many Savage Carnage Unlimited debates. I will be moderating. I will be joined by my co-host and creative partner in the world, Tony.
It's not
fellow
that
listener.
good.
My answer intuitively that wants to say no, I don't believe it's just like a social thing or a social phenomenon or construct. I don't know, not divine command theory though, so I'm not sure.
So you can't ground it in anything, can you?
I guess not, no.
Yeah, because you just make them up, don't you?
Yeah, this
What do you ground it in?
Well, I ground it in God, but I have a different worldview than you. And when we're debating this,
I ground my rights in God, even though God never explicitly issued me any rights that I'm aware of or that I can reference, right? Like, I want to know where did God give you the right to life in the Bible? When did
from
that
the prism
happen?
of our worldview. Well, I, as the
$5 from Patty Peterson debate. Your point about optimization organs was brilliant. Thank you. Our immune system is a great example of something optimized. Yeah, optimize. This is such a great attack because they deny teleology, but then they affirm optimization, but it's accidental optimization. Is there any reason from a normal thinking person, do we know anything about the world that leads us to believe that any sense of the word optimization can be produced by random functions? Is there any reason to believe that? No, there's not a reason to believe that.
Christian might be able to grant that there are rights. Why should I ever grant them to you, commie? You don't believe in them at all. From your view, if I take away all of your rights, we just made...
See, and it's just the most basic shit. Like when I Google it, it's the AI overview says the Bible establishes the right to life based on the sanctity of human life, which is not actually in the Bible. That's just their synopsis of what it says, right? Which is deemed sacred because humans are created in God's image in Genesis, which actually doesn't say anything about human life being sanctified just because they are created in God's image. That doesn't logically follow. Key themes including the prohibition of murder. Again, doesn't logically follow. It says that other people don't have the right to kill you. It doesn't say that you have the right to live. No, those are two different things. God's intimate involvement in human development in the womb in Psalm. Again, what are you talking about? Doesn't logically follow. And a call to defend the vulnerable. Well, maybe there's one a little bit out of Proverbs, apparently. But none of those say you have this right to life granted by God. It never says it anywhere explicitly, as far as I can tell. And you know, to the best of my knowledge and recollection in the AI overview, it's just not fucking there, dude. It doesn't say it. It says other people can't kill you, and yeah, God like really cares about kids and stuff, and they all kind of look like him, but it doesn't say, hey, you have the right to life. And if anybody murders you, hey, yeah, you know, we're probably gonna, you know, like be pretty hard on that person, except that, you know, they can just repent and be saved too. So it's all kind of relative, right? Because I think even murderers can be saved under most Christian belief systems. So I don't know. I don't know where we're going with this.
Oh yeah, I've debated Grok. It's hilarious.
Him the fuck up anyway.
Most of them agree with me, so I'm kind of bored with it because they don't really have good pushback. I'm like, how did the snake get fangs from not fangs? And they're like, well, there was a thing before it that had fangs. I'm like, okay, I'll switch the question to that then. So the thing before a snake, how did it get fangs? Oh, well, that's interesting. There was a proto version before that.
I feel like it's a highly reductive way.
This guy realizes that not all snakes have fangs, right? Is he aware of that?
To characterize my arguments.
I'm sorry you feel that way, but how is it not the case that from your view, we just made them the up and not grounded in?
Have I? No, I don't want to listen to Nuts Erudite ever again.
Anything, and if I take them away, how's that even immoral?
You can see these things and look at them through lenses that I just don't find useful, or I have not thought to do so.
From the Marxist lens?
They could be useful.
Aren't the fangs horns?
Cool with the anti-Semitic remarks.
I'm starting to like you, atheist. I'm starting to like you.
No, I'm saying from a Marxist material sense, yes. But like, I mean, my general opinion on rights is that they're useless if you only have them de jure, but you don't actually have a way to enforce them. Or similarly, it is, I wouldn't say equally as futile, but it's also a precarious position.
Yeah. It's the whole thing, Chaw. That's why it's nonsensical. Because
referring to this fucking super chat, which is the optimize also becomes a process rather than a state of being. How can you know something's optimal when constantly changing, right? And so it's not. It's never completely optimal. That's the fucking point. That's why you're always having to adapt to a new circumstance. And there's no point when it can be considered optimal, because the environment will never become static enough for that to happen, right? If the environment became static as such that the process of adaptation would never have to take place again, then the species would go extinct out of laziness, right? Out of the lack of having any productive thing to do, right? That's what logically follows. That's like the plot of the movie WALL-E. Like all of your fucking basic necessities are taken care of, and you end up being a bunch of fatties floating around on a fucking, in a tin can, and not really, because the system is running itself, right? It's a hypothetical. It's been around for a while. You're never actually optimized, and once you're optimized and you can control your environment, then you become necessarily weakened by the fact that you don't have to adapt to any environmental pressures, right? It actually weakens the species. That's why, reproductively isolated species in certain, tropical places, you take them and you go throw them into a new environment and they die right away because they can't fucking adapt.
Because the entire thing is one process. Just like the entire thing is one clade. There's only one real clade, they could possibly argue. Only one. Everything else is just this nominal, flux, temporary instance. But the process itself, there's no separation between these things either. They're just it's just monism. It's just like a biological monism. It's a weird, it's a philosophy. The whole thing is a philosophy. That's why they don't like to talk about that aspect. They want to get into the bones, right?
Based on the bones.
You're like, no, we're not getting in the bones because that's more philosophy anyway. I demand that Vagine gives commentary just for you and Tony to yell at. Maybe.
Bones are philosophy. I just want to just pause and think about that for a second. The bones are philosophy. Everything is philosophy to Jim Bob. Everything reduces to philosophy. And it's like, no, it doesn't work, buddy. There's a fucking reason that, long ago, they made this distinction between physics and metaphysics and science and philosophy, because they were like, nah, there's no way. Like, we got two different realms of inquiry going on here. And this one, but the two, they have a little bit of overlap, but that's about it. They don't really go together in the way that you're trying to make
Maybe
them.
we got a lot going on. You guys are in for a big treat. It's a real dynamic. I would call it a super dynamic debate evening. Super dynamic. Looks like Andrew debating a witch. Seriously. People that keep whining. Why does Andrew debate these like little girls? It's these people vote. And it's not just a vote. They're the most easily
He's also a misogynist and a sexist, so let's not forget that. I mean,
influenced. So for those of you constantly spurging about Andrew or whoever else who's constantly up in panels against this demographic single-handedly, I would argue, through the feminist, progressive and the feminist routes, completely undermine the structure of civilization. There, I said it. Looks like Andrew's debate. Oh, you already said that. Thanks.
To be in where you can enforce your rights, but you have not actually secured.
These pathetic, no good women are fucking undermining the structure of civilization, man. They're brainwashing all of the men into being not men, and they're just trying to make a trans army of trans women, who they can then. No, wait. None of this makes sense, does it? When you actually try to logic it out.
The legal protections and the de jure actually got them ensconced in writing in a constitution, etc.
But how is it not the weakest sand on earth to say that we need to enforce these rights that I just made them?
Thank you so much, Josiah.
Because they're not grounded in anything.
You're bored? That means you're boring. That's what I tell my kids. You got to generate yourself, atheist.
It's sad because there is like a whole, and it's Enlightenment philosophy, the philosophy behind the rights that we adhere to today when we implement rights in any given state or nation in the civilized world. Like when we put a language to this and we say, oh yeah, people have these rights, and then you can go through moral philosophy and be like, okay, it's unethical for me to deprive people of this right, and it's unethical for other people to do this to this other. So there's like, this is your rights. It's in the limitation. There's like, the bounds of not, offending or tampering with the other person's rights, right? Like your rights can't necessarily infringe upon another person's rights. It's something you can both do. And so there's a whole like set of philosophy behind this. And we're like, no, it doesn't exist. You're just making it up. You're just making up rights out of thin air, and nobody's doing that. But it's a problem that neither party can actually articulate where the rights come from, because there are thousands of years of philosophical inquiry into the matter that you could actually reference. I mean,
you got to become
crazy.
If you're bored, you have to generate not being boring. Okay, I'll treat you like an 8-year-old if I need to. You announcing you're bored, maybe people get bored of you. What do you want, a 24-hour timeout? Is that what you need? All right, give it to him. I don't know. Why am I asking? Where am I? Suzanne, 24-hour timeout for atheist. Goodbye.
Is that all atheist?
Go walk in the halls. I'm giving you a 24-hour hall pass. Get a sippy sip. Get a sippy cup.
He was just talking to that one guy.
Play with your
Oh, what a character. What a fucking character. All right, I guess I'm probably going to wrap it up. So we got a half hour into this video, Remember that, write it down, take a picture, and I'll try not to fuck us up next time. I don't know, maybe we were where we were supposed to be in the first place, We have arrived here. Oh yeah, and so I didn't give you the answer. So, the worst band name ever, besides Bim Job and the Rim Jobs, is actually it's similar though, I think, and I'll give it to you now. So my nomination, and we can all vote. Type 1 in the side chat or whatever. Just put it in the comments later. Worst band name ever in history that I'm aware of is Ram Jam. Ram Jam, it takes the cake for why would you fucking call yourself that? Makes no kind of sense. And I don't even like the song, honestly, to be honest with you. So that's about that. happy Thursday. Have a good night, y'all. Hope it's been good for you. It was okay for me, and it's just gonna keep getting better. It's gonna get better every day. I swear. I have faith. I have faith. And all right. So I will end the show as I always do, because I do the same thing at the end of every show, and I say, much love, be kind, be well, and stay trusty. And thank you to Pixie Storms, Daniel Berry Sports Highlights, Cher Wilkes, this one guy, and my awesome life, my awesome chat tonight. And yeah, to everybody else out there watching past, present, and or future, thank you. And yeah, we'll see you next time, whenever that happens to be. All right. Bye bye now.